New Jersey, the Garden State, the nation's most densely populated state, the only one with a single statewide transit system. Welcome to Larry Krieg's Rail video number 10, an overview of transit in New Jersey. New Jersey, one of the 13 original colonies, industrial leader, bedroom community par excellence, with the highest median income in the country, together with deep pockets of crime and poverty and a high proportion of ethnic minorities. In 2010, 21 million trips were taken on New Jersey Transit light rail trains. Commuter rail passengers took 82 million trips, and bus riders took 162 million trips. Where were all these people going? Bus riders were transported over a dense network covering the populous northeast of the state, and over hub-and-spoke routes in the southwest and rural areas. An amazing number of people commute into New York City by bus. In fact, more people commute to Manhattan by bus from New Jersey than by any other mode, according to the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, which operates bridges, tunnels, and trains into the Big Apple. The destination of many of them is the vast Port Authority bus terminal, occupying a full city block between 8th and 9th Avenues at 40th Street. Buses from New Jersey pour through the tunnel under the Hudson and spiral up into the terminal. Passengers can then walk, take city buses, or catch the subway to work. Better known to most visitors are the rail lines diving from west of Jersey City under the Hudson River to Penn Station at 34th Street. With over 600,000 passengers per day, this is the busiest station in the U.S. Though now owned by Amtrak, New Jersey Transit trains carry a large proportion of the passengers in and out of Penn. In fact, the commuter rail system in New Jersey is heavily oriented toward cities in other states. New York City is the primary focus, of course, but Philadelphia receives a lot of passengers from New Jersey as well. Although NJ Transit trains go only as far as Trenton Station, Philadelphia's SEPTA takes over from there, often on the same platform as NJT's trains. And Philadelphia's PATCO so-called Speed Line brings commuters from Camden, New Jersey and points east to downtown Philly. The spine of NJT's commuter rail system is the Northeast Corridor, which crosses the Delaware River from Pennsylvania about halfway up the state at Trenton. From there, it runs straight north-northeast to Newark, the state's largest city. It then hooks a right toward the skyscrapers of Manhattan, dives under the Hudson, and after stopping at Penn Station, runs under the East River to Queens and the huge Sunnyside Yard, where NJ Transit trains are serviced and await their turn to head back to New Jersey. But the Northeast Corridor is only the start. 7 other lines originally built by several private railway companies converge on the New Jersey side of the Hudson, opposite Manhattan. These lines serve inner ring New Jersey cities like Hoboken, Bergen, Newark, and Jersey City. They also serve cities farther out, in addition to Trenton, Elizabeth, New Brunswick, and Perth Amboy. Princeton even has its own branch line off the Northeast Corridor, served by a 2-car EMU, nicknamed the Scoot, the Dinky, and the PJ&B, Princeton Junction and back. But that's not all. NJ Transit rails serve locations even further out. High Bridge in the bucolic west. Bayhead, a resort town on the Atlantic. And in cooperation with the New York MTA, Port Jervis in the Adirondacks of New York State. All the rail lines were built by private railway companies which ran extensive commuter service in competition with one another. The Pennsylvania, the Lackawanna, the Central of New Jersey, the Erie, the Lehigh Valley. As a result, the service wasn't coordinated, and only the Pennsylvania had direct access to Manhattan through the twin tunnels they bored in the first decade of the 1900s. In 2003, NJ Transit opened the Frank Lautenberg Secaucus Junction Station to link together the previously competing lines. It's not really a junction. There's no connection between the tracks that pass through the station on different levels. The lower tracks run east to Hoboken on the Hudson. Westward, they split to serve the Erie Main Line to Suffern, to the Bergen County, the Meadowlands, the Pascack Valley, and the Port Jervis lines. About 160 daily trains stop at lower-level platforms. The upper-level platforms serve the Northeast Corridor on its way to Manhattan's Penn Station. NJ Transit trains to Trenton, the North Jersey Coast Line, the Montclair Boonton Line, and the Morristown Line, 228 daily, can use the upper-level tracks, though not all of them stop. 102 or 103 Amtrak trains, depending on the day of the week, pass through without stopping on a pair of center tracks. Down in southern New Jersey, the Atlantic City service runs from Philadelphia to southeast New Jersey's resort and gaming capital. Formerly run by Amtrak, NJ Transit took over from the national carrier in 1995. New Jersey's 3 light rail lines serve different purposes. The oldest is the Newark system, consisting of 2 lines started in 1935. Both lines start underground at Newark's Pennsylvania station. One travels just a mile north to the Broad Street station on NJT's Morris and Essex line, formerly the Lackawanna. The other line meanders northwest for 5.3 miles to Bloomfield Township, a municipality of about 47,000 people. The Hudson-Bergen light rail line runs close to the Hudson River, linking the communities of Union City, Hoboken, Bergen, and Bayonne. This line began operations in April 2000, and the final segment was opened in January 2011. These communities were in decay during the middle of the 20th century, but have enjoyed a renaissance lately, especially Hoboken. Skyscrapers are springing up to challenge the Manhattan skyline across the Hudson, and the light rail line has helped focus development on transit-oriented communities. Newest is the River Line, which runs from Trenton south to Camden, across the river from Philadelphia. The 34-mile light rail line opened in March 2004 and was unique at the time in the U.S. Rather than using electric power, it uses diesel motors, and rather than build a separate line, they used an existing line shared with freight rail. The diesel cars are Swiss designed and built, with a power module in the center containing the engines. Getting the Federal Railway Administration to approve using light rail vehicles on the same track as heavy freight trains took a lot of effort, and the result is temporal separation. The freights run during the wee hours of the morning, and the light rail runs during the day and evening. Within 6 years, Austin, Texas started running light rail diesels on freight tracks, and Dallas followed suit in 2012, both using the same Swiss diesel rail cars. That's our overview of transit in New Jersey. We'll soon offer a closer look at crossing the Hudson, at the mature commuter lines, at the Northeast Corridor through New Jersey, at commuting into the country, and at the light rail lines. Thank you for watching Larry Krieg's Rail Video number 10. Look for more soon.